If you're even tangentially related to any tabletop hobby, you have probably heard about the upcoming new open game license leaked from Hasbro. I do not speak legalese, but I've seen multiple lawyers debate the meaning of some changes that can be found therein, and this ambiguous wording is probably intentional. If you haven't read it, in short, Hasbro is trying to screw over the entire hobby, not just D&D, but everything that has been published under the OGL, and that is almost the entire OSR movement, dozens upon dozens of D&D clones, both editions of Pathfinder, including their video games. I've even heard claims that they might get into legal trouble with Disney, because Disney, being another utterly vile corporation, currently holds rights to the Star Wars franchise. Knights of the Old Republic games are based on Star Wars D20, which in turn was published under the OGL. If the leak is to be believed, Hasbro also wanted to release this new updated OGL given merely a week for other publishers to either rework their entire library of material for it or suffer the consequences. Again, I must reiterate that it's still unclear if it will affect books that were published prior to this updated OGL. This new OGL is anything but an open license. If you are planning to publish a system or book using OGL material, Hasbro basically just tells you that it can revoke your right to publish it at any moment and do whatever it wants with it. If you're crowdfunding it, you must pay 20 to 25% of it to Hasbro. If you're making YouTube content or streaming D&D and earning money, you must report your income to Hasbro and give them a cut of your profits. As far as I know, Critical Role will get a massive hit from it. Personally, I haven't watched even a single episode of it, but I know that it's big in the hobby nowadays. Basically, the situation is similar to some video game scandals of the recent years, like Blizzard claiming rights to all maps and mods made for Warcraft 3 Reforged. If you are a small publisher, it doesn't even matter that you're not violating anything. Hasbro has enough money to simply do frivolous lawsuits and bully you into submission. This is the most repugnant part of the situation. D&D 3.0 and 3.5 have a long history of third-party content. Some of it, well, most of it, if I am to be honest, was quite bad, which might have given it a bad reputation. However, I still hoarded the PDFs and read them. They are a treasure trove of ideas that can be adapted to your GURPS games. Even if they do not really work in D&D, I could see passion behind the writing. Many of the writers clearly loved the hobby and loved writing for it. During the D&D 4e, the third-party material basically died off due to a new license. Pathfinder, on the other hand, saw a huge influx of third-party material. Honestly, about 90 or maybe 95% of it was complete dross. I have seen such low-effort books that I can hardly be called books. I often wondered how one even had the nerve to sell that trash. But there are still some hidden gems in there. As for D&D 5e, I have not found anything worth adapting to my games in the third-party material. Who am I kidding? Even the official material is so awful low effort and soulless compared to what was published before that I did not take anything from it. People defending official 5e books puzzle me. Have some self-respect. If a company claims that it produces the best and most popular role-playing game in the world, it could have at least tried to improve its writing instead of turning it into a joyless slop for whales to consume. Even the release schedule is pathetically slow compared to what it's been before. If you are playing Magic the Gathering, then you probably know that the situation is similar there. It's all just passionless sludge for whales, but unlike in D&D, you get overloaded with new releases that blatantly try to milk as much money from the player base as possible. Why am I even telling you all this? I just want to get it off my chest. If you're a loyal D&D fan, then please think again if Hasbro is worth your admiration and, most importantly, money. Should you really support a company that openly disrespects and hates you? You should vote with your wallet, I know that Hasbro might seem like an unyielding corporation, but such things add up quickly. Just look at Hollywood and Disney nowadays. Powerhouses of the past that are now struggling to stay relevant. That even the so-called normie consumers see how much they hate their own customers. Remember, you are a customer, not a consumer. You are under no obligation to consume every little thing your favorite company produces. If the company hates you, look for alternatives, and you will find them aplenty. Personally, I think that Hasbro is about to shoot itself in the foot here. But D&D will probably survive. After all, the release of D&D 3.0 was seen as apocalyptic once. Same can be said for D&D 4e. When I first read the playtest documents for D&D 5e, I thought that nobody would play it, but I was wrong. But now, looking at this new OGL and 1D&D, I am starting to think that the large entertainment companies are competing with one another to see who will manage to disrespect their own customer base the most and stay afloat. Hasbro now might take some parts of it back in a show of fake goodwill, but do not believe them. This is an absolutely despicable move. Openly hating your own customers seems like a counterintuitive concept, but this so-called fan-baiting is commonplace in the modern world. They might even say that it's your fault, that they are looking for a new, better fanbase, and they might put a label on you, call you a bigot, east, a phobe, or whatever buzzword they come up with. Do not support companies that hate you. Vote with your wallet. Look for alternatives. I said many times that GURPS does D&D better than D&D, but even if you do not like GURPS, there are other systems that are not D&D. Take a look at them. Remember, Hasbro is about to hit rock bottom, but you do not need the company to support the system for the system to be alive. You just have to play it.